Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Friday. In case you guys didn't hear, we are now on lockdown. LA is now on lockdown, meaning we cannot leave our houses anymore just for the safety of everybody. So, I decided to call in some of our friends and let's see if we can catch her. Yeah, that's right. Elastigirl's here to come and save us, just in case things get crazy. But yes, make sure we're still staying safe. Our health is the most important thing right now. But here we go. What's up, guys? So yesterday you guys took a test. One thing I don't understand is how did you guys score so low when you guys had an open note quiz? Um, I don't know. I think maybe we're gonna have to take it over again. And use your notes again. I thought it was kind of simple, but we'll find out what was going wrong with that test when we go through our Zoom session. Okay. But anywho, happy Friday. Hope you guys are doing safe. You guys are safe. You guys aren't as bored. I'm pretty bored, but I really do wish I was back at school because making all these videos and grading things on Google Classroom is a lot more work than it is being with you kids. But anywho, today we're gonna start a new section, and we're gonna talk about the Greeks, the Persians, the Spartans. If you guys seen the movie The 300, which I hope you haven't, because I think it's rated R. But if you have seen it, that's what we're gonna be talking about. We're gonna be talking about that movie, but how it was in history. But the movie was just like that. So let's get to it. So today we're going to start talking about the very beginning, how the Persian Empire came about, and how they're going to start to attack Greece, or how they're going to come along with Greece to attack. So back then, while the Athenians were creating their democracy and worrying about natural disasters, the Persians were creating their own empire. Created in 550 BC, the Persian Empire grew really quickly, and we'll talk about that today. Within 30 years, the Persians had conquered many peoples, and the Persian rulers had to decide how these people would be treated. One thing that was cool about the Persians is that they treated people differently, which is why they were able to grow so fast and become so powerful and take over a lot of the Mediterranean and that area as we know. So, here we go. So before we start, I just wanted to show you guys the map. If you see that little red star right there, that's where the Persian Empire first started. And when the Persian Empire ended, they got all that brown right there. So you can just imagine how powerful, how big they were, because if you look, that's all Middle East, parts of Europe, and Northern Africa. So they were able to conquer everything. And when I have to tell you guys always have to remember when we're talking about ancient history, is that they had to walk everywhere on camelback or just walk with sandals on. They didn't have shoes, they didn't have Nikes, they didn't have anything. So everything that they did, they had to do it by hand and by walking. So this is another huge, huge feat for everybody, because remember, the ground is not always flat. It's rocky, it's mountainous, there's deserts, it's hot, but they were able to conquer all this land, and they were really successful at it. So let's talk about it. So it all starts with this guy named Cyrus the Great. There's a few of them that were Cyrus the Greats, but the one that we're going to talk about is Cyrus the Great II and Cyrus the Great I. So the Persians, they often fought people in Southwest Asia, and they kind of lost. They were just out there trying to gain land, but they were failing, but they never gave up. Just like us, when we hit a road or we have an obstacle, we don't give up, we just keep going. And that's what the Persians were doing. They were losing battles, but they never gave up. One thing that actually happened, that it's always good that you learn from your mistakes, is at one point they got ruled by these people called the Medes. And what the Medes did was they were ruling them for about 150 years. And during this time, when they're under being ruled by 150 years, these Persians didn't like it. They still were fighting, and they still wanted their independence. So bring in the Cyrus the Great the First, right there, the guy in the picture. What he did was he decided to get all these Persians together and actually tried to take down the Medes. And when he did take down the Medes, which ruled them for 150 years, that began the whole beginning of the Persian Empire. So when Cyrus defeated the Medes, it started the Persian Empire, and from there it was like a domino effect. They were able to steamroll through everybody, conquer a lot of people, and everything was good. So When Cyrus began to conquer Southwest Asia and all of Asia Minor, he even started to conquer some of the Greek cities, and then eventually his main goal was to conquer the Mesopotamia. Because remember, if you conquer the Mesopotamia, you conquer a perfect location for trade and for travel. Because remember, the Mesopotamia connects Africa, Asia, and Europe. So that's Cyrus's main goal, was to get to the Mesopotamia and take over that area. So when Cyrus started to go and conquer everybody, Cyrus started to build his empire in 529, and this began to become one of the biggest empires the world has ever seen. We saw the Romans, whose was the largest, but they were also the strongest and most powerful and the longest lasting empire. The Persians had the biggest empire that was the world has ever seen. And you can see on the map again, once again, this empire was huge. And one thing that what allowed it to become so big was that Cyrus, like I told you before, he treated people differently. One thing that Cyrus did was when he conquered people, he let them continue practicing their customs, continue practicing their religions, continue with their lives, and to just keep them happy. He didn't go ahead and conquer them and turn them into slaves, because that would probably lead into a rebellion. So what he did was, let's just keep them happy. Let's let them do what they're doing, but just let them know that they're going to be under my rule, and hopefully they'll fall in line and they won't rebel. And because of this, the empire was able to grow so strong because Cyrus treated everybody equally. And he treated people fairly, and he let them do what they wanted to do, and he kept them happy. That's how he grew his empire so strong. He also had a really, really strong army, and his good army plan, what to talk about later. But anywho, Cyrus, this is perfect. Just like in real life, if you treat people nice, treat them happy, they're more likely going to be your friends and more likely going to do things to help you out. But if you treat people bad, then they're more likely to not like you and maybe just treat you not the way you should be treated. So don't forget, you should treat people nice, just like Cyrus did, and maybe you too can have a huge empire like him. So like I was telling you, that he was able to build this huge empire, but he also had a really, really organized and loyal army. And like I said, the army was loyal to him because of the way he treated people. Um, so the way the army worked was he had these two people. He had these immortals, and these immortals were the most brave warriors or soldiers that you can have. And there was about 10,000 that he chose. And these immortals were brave, they were skilled fighters, and they were kind of like the finishers. They were the ones that ended everything. I'll tell you how it worked in a second. We also had the cavalry, and the cavalry was like these people on in the picture. And what they did was they rode on these horses, and they were known for their swift and fast attacks. They would shoot bows and arrows, they would spear, and the way it worked was they worked together. So this is how it worked. First, Cyrus would send in the cavalry. The cavalry would pretty much just charge and go Rambo on everybody and just go straight in. Pedal to the metal, full force, everyone go attack, 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 and take out as many people as possible. Next, he would send in the immortals, and the immortals would come in and they would clean up all the business. So pretty much after the cavalry charged through and took down a lot of the people, the immortals would come in right behind them, and the immortals will finish anybody that was either hurt or people that were still alive. They would go ahead and finish them off and kill them because they're brave and skilled. So the cavalry was like the rush, and then the immortals were the ones that finished the business. But these people had to be skilled and they had to be brave because they didn't fight on horses. They fought hand to hand or with just swords, which is kind of cool. Like I said, if you've seen the movie 300, watch that clip, YouTube it. Just don't tell your parents. YouTube that video of the Persian army, the immortals, the Battle of the Immortals 300 movie, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So as a review, we talked about how the Persians became an empire. We had the Persians who always tried to fight. They never gave up. They were always losing. At one point, they were taken over by these people called the Medes, and they were taken over by 150 years. For 150 years. Then Cyrus the Great came, and Cyrus the Great said, you know, forget this. We're going to go ahead and try to take them over. And what Cyrus did is once he took down the Medes, he said, perfect, now we got to start building our empire. The way Cyrus built his empire was he conquered everybody around him. But one thing that he did different was he did not turn people into slaves. He let them do and keep the customers that they always practice. He wanted people to be happy because he figured that if he kept the people that he conquered happy, they would be loyal to him and they would fight for him and they would work for him. And that's exactly what happened. These people were loyal to him and they liked him because of the way he treated them. he made life better for him. Um, Another way that they were able to build this huge empire was because of their army. With their army, they had these two people, the immortals and the cavalry. The immortals were the finishers, these were the skilled and brave warriors, and then we had the cavalry, who were the people that rode on horses, shot bows and arrows and spears. And pretty much how it worked was the cavalry would come in and rush them, take out as many people as possible, and then the cavalry would get sent in, and the cavalry would pretty much finish off all the business that needed to be taken care of. That's how the Persians grew an army. So for homework, I want you guys to answer these 3 questions. Who was Cyrus the Great? 2, why did the people that were conquered by Cyrus not rebel? 3, why was Cyrus able to create and rule the largest empire the world has ever seen? What were his strategies? What did he do? If you were Cyrus, would you do this? So that's it for today. If you have any questions, don't forget to leave me a message, comment on the video, whatever you want. And if you guys want to make a video, send the videos to the class. We want to see what you guys are doing in your free time, because I know you guys are bored at home. This is the way I pass time, making videos, still able to connect. But I would like to see something from you guys as well. So if you guys want to make a video, send it my way. Okay? See you guys.